I'm Sam. So there's this invisible force out there, right? And it is just destroying 9 out of every 10 businesses, sometimes before they even get off the ground. I actually just spent the last 3 months digging into why they fail. And what I found out, it's not the market, it's not the product. Turns out, it's all in our heads. We've all heard this quote from Steve Jobs. And look, he's not wrong. Perseverance is absolutely key. But here's what he didn't tell you. The other half, the part that trips up almost everybody, is recognizing these hidden psychological traps that our own minds are setting for us. I mean, the reality is just brutal. A 90% failure rate. We love to think it's about funding or, crazy competition or just bad luck. But the truth, most of these failures start way before any of that. They start with the faulty wiring that's already inside our brains. Let's just be super direct here. Your brain is lying to you every single day. And I can say that with total certainty, because my brain lied to me, and it cost me $50,000. I fell for the exact same psychological traps that have literally destroyed empires. But here's the thing, once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. And that's when everything starts to change. Okay, so let's dive into it. I'm gonna walk you through 3 of the most lethal mental traps that are secretly sabotaging your success. And we're gonna start with the one that nearly killed my very first startup. It's called the overconfidence effect. It's our natural tendency to believe we're smarter, we're more skilled, and just generally more capable than we really are. And yeah, it feels good, but believe me, it is incredibly dangerous. And this isn't just a few people, it's practically universal. Get this, 93% of students think they're above average drivers, 84% of Frenchmen believe they are above average lovers, and a staggering 68% of university professors rate themselves in the top 25% of all teachers. I mean, the math just doesn't work, right? By definition, only half of people can be above average. This one hit me hard personally. 3 years ago, I launched what I was totally convinced was the next Facebook. I was so certain of my own genius that I completely ignored negative feedback, I just brushed off market research as noise, and I burned through $30,000 in 6 months. In my head, every little win was because of my brilliance, and every failure, that was just bad luck. So, if you're sitting there thinking you're immune to this, well, you're kind of proving my point. Alright, let's move on to the next trap. Social proof. This is that deep-seated instinct we have to follow the herd. For our hunter-gatherer ancestors, if everyone suddenly started running, you ran too, no questions asked. It meant survival. But in modern business, it can lead you straight off a cliff. And this isn't just an individual problem, it can destroy giants. Take Swissair. They were once so reliable, people called them the flying bank. But the groupthink inside that company became toxic. Their belief in their own superiority was so absolute that no one dared to question a totally disastrous expansion strategy. And now, they're bankrupt. I almost made the exact same mistake. A few years back, my entire industry just suddenly pivoted hard into AI. Every competitor, every influencer, that's all they were talking about. So I followed them, without really thinking it through for my own business. And it nearly drove us into the ground. So here's the crucial lesson. Sometimes the crowd isn't wise. It's just running away from something, often in the completely wrong direction. And that brings us to the big one, confirmation bias. You could call this the mother of all misconceptions. It's our brain's tendency to actively search for, interpret, and remember any information that confirms what we already believe, while, conveniently ignoring anything that challenges it. Ever wonder why astrology horoscopes seem so creepily accurate? Well, it's not the stars. It's your brain doing the work. This bias was proven in a famous experiment where students were given an identical, super generic personality description. They rated it as 86% accurate because their brains automatically filtered their own memories and focused only on the evidence that matched the prediction. Oh man, I fell for this one hard. For months, I would scroll through my YouTube comments and only focus on the positive ones. All the negative feedback, I just dismissed it as haters. And what happened? My growth completely stalled. I had trapped myself in an echo chamber of my own creation, starving my business of the critical feedback it desperately needed to improve. So look, these biases have always been part of the human condition. Why does it matter more right now than ever before? Because we're entering an age where we have to compete against a mind that has none of them. By 2026, the entire business landscape will be defined by a brand new kind of intelligence. Here's the stark difference. Our brains are wired for bias. We look for confirmation because it feels good to be right. AI is wired for patterns. It just looks at objective data to be right. So while we're falling for all these cognitive traps, AI is emotionlessly processing all the data, seeing the market exactly as it is, not as we wish it would be. The winners of the next decade won't just have the best tech. They'll be the ones who actually understand their own psychological limits. So, how do we fight back? How do we think clearly in a world that is practically designed to exploit our mental flaws? Well, it's not about becoming a robot. It's about having a mental framework. This is a 5-step framework for clarity. First, actively assume you're wrong. Don't look for validation. Make it your mission to find the evidence that proves your brilliant idea is actually flawed. Second, focus only on what you can control. Ignore all the noise about the market or your competitors. Obsess over your product, your team, your execution. Third, judge by inherent value, not by comparison. Ask yourself, is this idea fundamentally good, or does it just look good next to a bad one? Fourth, decide when you are neutral. Never ever make a key decision when you're ecstatic from a win or miserable from a loss. Let the emotion pass. And finally, number 5, limit your options. More choices don't lead to better decisions, they lead to analysis paralysis. Now, I know it might seem like these biases are a huge disadvantage, but let's try to reframe this for a second. This isn't really about being flawed, it's about being human. And that, if you know how to use it, is your ultimate advantage. So here's the whole point. You can't eliminate these biases. It's impossible. They are hardwired into our DNA. The real goal is to become aware of them, to be able to name them when they show up, and to build systems, both in your life and in your business, that protect you from their worst effects. That's the real secret. Think about it, your competitors are falling into these traps right now. While they're out there making emotional decisions and blindly following the crowd, you can be building rational, sustainable strategies. So the question isn't whether you have these biases, you do. The only question that matters is, what are you going to do about it?